Taurus versus Beretta. This is one of the most heated competitions you will generally see in any discussion about firearms. People will say that the Taurus is a better pistol because it has a more affordable price point and has the same features and capabilities as the Italian weapon, but obviously is less expensive and has a frame-mounted safety, which is where John Moses Browning and God intended it for. And then there are those who argue that the Beretta is a more superior weapon because the Taurus is a sham copy, and the Beretta has a higher pedigree of use among law enforcement and professional military organizations, such as the United States military. Um, who's right? Who's wrong? Which gun is better? Is it better? The actual answer is fairly complicated, but I'll try to boil it down in 5 minutes or less for you happy people out there, so bear with me if I speak fast. First, let's do our safety checks. Both pistols have the magazines out and are not chambered. So, mag's out on this one too. Nothing in the chamber. Boom. So, obvious differences. The frame-mounted safety on the Taurus can be locked with the cotton locked action, or you can manually decock it on this one. Later models have a automatic decocker by pushing down on the safety switch, but this is a 1980s model, so it does not have that feature. The Beretta has a frame mounted safety which cannot be carried cocked and locked with the Taurus. You can only carry it with the safety off, hammer down, or hammer back and the safety off, which is pretty hazardous to me, but that can be done, I suppose. And then you have your safety on, hammer down. A lot of folks out there like to say that the Taurus is a copy of the Beretta. In actual truth, the Taurus is closer to the traditional Beretta 92 than the actual Beretta pistol is. It's just that for some reason people have just not been setting the story straight. So let me just set the facts straight here and now on it. Taurus actually invented a couple of features that Beretta copied, one of them being the ambidextrous safety, because every PT series weapon has been made with ambidextrous controls, whereas Beretta only started doing that on the 92 SB when they moved the safety to the slide. All the frame-mounted safety Berettas have them on the left side of the frame only for right-handed shooters. Taurus has always made theirs with the double-sided ambidextrous controls. The other invention of Taurus that they added to the features were a curved trigger guard forward so that the support hand finger can ride the frame there. That was a feature that did not appear in the Beretta until I believe the 92F came out, which is this particular weapon, which was in turn accepted by the U.S. Armed Forces as the military model M9. So those are two features that Beretta shamelessly stole from Taurus, in fact, and ever since then, they've kind of gone their own ways in terms of evolution. Beretta's got a rail-mounted version of that, version of the 92 series, which has a rail itself and some other features. So, as far as which particular pistol is better, actually, in terms of qualitative qualities, the Taurus to me is a better gun, but that is because I like the cocked and locked ability of it. The safety is actually fairly solid. It doesn't really move or wobble. I can shake this gun all day and it's not going to fall off or come off safe. And this trigger pull between the two weapons is basically the same. The parts aren't interchangeable. The magazines and stuff do not interchange, although you'd think they would. They're the same shape, but the mag release cut is a little different. This is the Taurus I'm holding, which has a wider cut, but the parts don't technically interchange between the two, but in terms of how they actually operate and how they function, I prefer the Taurus just because the safety gives you options of what you want to do. You can have it hammered down if you want. You can have it cocked and locked if you want. The Beretta, you can have it any way you want as long as the hammer's down. That's basically how it works. So the double action pull on both guns is not that bad. It's actually really good. It's nice. It's a steady pull, but it's also, it's also a steady, but it breaks, and when it breaks very crisply, and it is the same on the Taurus. It's the same way. It's a little lighter on the Taurus, a shade. What I find to be the case with new guns is the double action pull on the Beretta is heavier, but the single action pull on the Taurus is heavier. So Either way, they both kind of square out in terms of trigger feel. Both guns are no slouch in terms of accuracy, and both will run all day until the cows come home. The real difference between them is the price and the double action pull. If you can live with the double action pull and you've got the money to spend, by all means get the Beretta. It's a great gun. You can't go wrong with it. They work very well. There's a reason they're very popular among the military and law enforcement folks. As far as the Taurus is concerned, if you prefer cotton lot carry and you're in a situation where you're on a budget, this is the better choice by far. If money is a factor, get the Taurus. It's a great gun. You're not going to go wrong in terms of reliability. This weapon will last you years of faithful service. This particular example, both guns have been around since the 80s. These are both examples made in the same year, in the late 1980s. And both weapons work great. None of them have failed. No issues, no jams, no problems. I've had the Taurus a little longer than the Beretta, but I seriously doubt that the Beretta is going to start messing up on me tomorrow. I hope not. Better not. Anyways, so um, there you have it. Hope that answers a few questions for you guys out there in the internet world, and safe travels, safe shooting, and happy holidays.